you told me about this concept of the fire under your ass, right? And it was like I came to realize that like at that point in time in my life, I had nothing that was really burning and making me go and do these things, right? But you had it there, and it was like present. And now that you were speaking about like negative energy and positive energy later, would you say that that relates to like inspiration versus desperation, and the fact that at the start like it's almost desperation because you're trying to get out of the situation you're in to craft something better?
I think that's a great point. I think when you're moving out of, so as you said, right, people can either move out of inspiration or essentially away from pain or towards pleasure, right? Or also out of inspiration or desperation. And so I feel like when you're starting, a lot of it is desperation, right? Like you just want to make a few bucks, like you want to, I don't know, get to 10K a month, or all this stuff, right? Which is more desperation than inspiration. And I feel like when you're resonating at that frequency where you need stuff and you're like going at it, which I'm not saying, like it just makes sense when you're starting out for most people. It's really hard to tap into inspiration, and it's really hard to tap into that higher frequency where you're thinking about, some of the things you can create for the world and all this stuff, right? And so, yeah, absolutely. And it's like it's something that a lot of people just have to like come to terms with. I feel like at the start.
And do you think that, like, for someone like me back then, right? Like, and this is something I even struggle with, thinking back, right? But like, if someone is, let's say, like, I mean, lost is a big word, but like, not really, the kind of just going through the motions, right? Just showing up to uni, doing their day, coming home, watching TV, going to sleep, and getting ready to start it all over again, and just kind of, again, going through the motions. Is there something that can really flip the switch? Is there something you can do, or is it really just down to the individual in the end of the day?
It's a great question, and it's a very tough question, and a question that I've been debating for the longest time. Because at the start, when you get started in the personal development journey or entrepreneurship journey, you're like, why isn't everyone doing this? Like, I want my friends to know about this e-commerce thing and this agency thing. I want everyone to know about, like, I don't know, meditation and all that stuff, right? And I feel like it comes down to everyone has a different journey, and I feel like you can expose someone to certain experiences that may open this person's eyes to, and then all of a sudden light a fire under their ass that wasn't quite there yet because they hadn't opened their eyes to possibility. So I feel like a lot of people don't even know what's possible, what's out there, and so their mind cannot even conceive, right? They cannot even conceive that this is possible. And as soon as they see someone do it, or as soon as they see someone crush it, right, they're like, shit, I know I can do that. I want to get out of this situation. I just needed to see how it could be done, or I just need to see a vehicle. That's why I'm a massive fan of, like, that's why I share my numbers, and that's why I share my mentees, like, numbers and results, because it can inspire someone, it can open someone's eyes, and all of a sudden you've lit a fire under their ass, right? Because they had the fire, it just wasn't lit because they couldn't find a match or something like that, right? So that's one, that's a certain group of people. Then there's another group of people that they can see it, right? They can conceive it. They know it's out there, but they just don't have the fire. They're either too comfortable or they have a lot of limiting beliefs. And for those people, I feel like, they just have a different process, and so they might realize that they might light this fire under their ass at some point in their life, but something's gonna have to happen, or something, life is gonna have to teach them a lesson for them to be able to have that fire. So I think there's two groups of people, and that's kind of what I've learned from my journey. Seeing also what some of my mentees, what they have in common, right? And also just people in my network, seeing people that they have this fire, they just haven't lit it yet because they don't know what's out there and what's possible. But then there's other people that are just so comfortable, or they're not ready to take that step, that they just, if in the future they are to do this, it's gonna have to be done by life just teaching them a lesson.